All right, hi. My name is Josh Fox, and I'm here because when I started working on the film Gasland, I really didn't have much of an idea of how the world used and worked with extractive energy resources. Obviously, my area of expertise is in natural gas and fracking. But I also uncovered, and it was brought to me, information about three other forms of extreme energy development in addition to fracking. Tar sands being chief among them. Deep water drilling for oil, which is incredibly risky, and they don't really know enough about it. And the third, obviously, mountaintop removal. When I heard that this action was going to be taking place and the things that were at stake, there were so many combining factors to me making the decision to come here. The first one is that they're using fracked gas to boil the tar sands. This is completely insane to me, that you're destroying certain communities via fracking and then sending that up to northern Alberta and using that to boil off the water and the bitumen and that energy process that will create oil. Fracking is bad. Obviously the tar sands is enormously destructive. The other thing that I have obviously been learning a lot about is climate change and global warming and how much carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases, including methane, we're putting up into the atmosphere. And the raw data and the statistics and just taking a look at how devastating the tar sands is from the air, which is pretty much the only way you can see it, is an enormous, I mean, talking about destroying the area the size of Florida or the state of England. It's mind-boggling to me. I actually went to Warren, Pennsylvania, in western PA, where I was showing Gasland at a film festival. And right in the center of Warren, PA, they have an oil refinery. A single owner from New York City. It's sitting there right in the middle of town. It looks horrible. And I'm showing Gasland at the film festival, and I meet this guy who is the head of the, he's one of the, not the head of the film festival, but one of the managing directors of the film festival. He is the environmental supervisor at the oil refinery in Warren, PA. And I said, where are you getting the oil from? And he goes, tar sands. And I just put my head down. And I said, let me ask you a question. What's your byproducts from your oil production? And he said, well, obviously we have a lot of byproduct natural gas. So you have oil, the byproduct is natural gas. So what do you do with it? They say, oh, we flare it off. So in other words, they burn it on the spot. They don't store it, they don't put it in a pipeline, they don't use it, they burn it right on the spot. They don't even know how much they generate. This is one tiny example of how inefficient and insane this whole system is. The bottom line is, in my researching natural gas and my researching all these forms of extractive energy, which are polluting and destructive and harmful to people, they're toxic fuels, the bottom line is that we don't need this oil. And we don't need that gas, and we don't need that coal. There are plants right now being worked on by the brightest people in America. I just interviewed Mark Jacobson at Stanford University, has a plan to convert America to renewable energy by 2025. Renewable energy works, solar, wind, geothermal. There are a lot of other bold, innovative ideas out there as well. This is a scam. This is big energy companies, big oil companies that have found ways of making an enormous amount of money by totally annihilating environments, and they don't care about it, and people's lives are at risk. The planet is at risk. James Hansen has said if we do this oil from the tar sands and develop the whole thing, it's basically game over in terms of climate change for the planet Earth. This is the man who first spotted climate change in the 80s. This is direly, direly serious. With President Obama in the White House, we have a person who should be sympathetic to what we're saying. With President Obama in the White House, we have somebody who should listen to this, who should see that this is completely nonsensical. And I happen to know for a fact, when he met with the leaders of Power Shift, he looked at the environmental movement and said, where are you guys? Well, here we are. It's not just environmental movement, it's public health movement. And it's a sanity movement. And it's a movement that has to do with not allowing huge corporations that have been abusing the planet and abusing us and putting us into a system where we are dependent on them and addicted to them, putting that system to bed and starting something anew. Here we are, and this is what we're saying, and this is what we're doing, and I'm incredibly grateful to be here. I'm incredibly grateful to Bill McKibben and Naomi Klein, who sounded the alarm to me, and that's my reason for being here. And also, after you see what sentence that Tim DeChristopher got in his heroic action of saving a huge amount of the beautiful wilderness in Utah and keeping a lot of carbon in the ground instead of up in the air where it warms the planet. This is doubly important because of the harsh sentencing of Tim DeChristopher, 2 years for basically doing a heroic act that should have been applauded and not incarcerated. So anyway, I'm just overwhelmed and moved to be here. I'm very, very excited for tomorrow, and thanks so much for listening to me. This is all one piece of one thing, one transition that the globe has to make to renewable energy, to sustainability as a model. And I think we'll be much happier when we get there.